This week's episode is about Advent, waiting, preparations, and hope. I'm Rachael Keefe, and this is Monday's Muse. This week, we begin officially the season of Advent, those 4 weeks that lead up to Christmas, where each Sunday has its own theme. Traditionally, those are hope, peace, joy, and love. This week is hope, and the world really needs hope right now. The scriptures for this week included a passage from the prophet Isaiah, in which the people of God were invited to return to God's holy mountain, to relearn God's holy ways, to learn ways of living that would turn swords into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks. And nations would learn war no more. And the passage concludes with a clear invitation to walk in the light of the Lord. There is such hope in this passage that was meant for a people held captive thousands of years ago. It has the same kind of hope for us. Is it not time we return to God's holy ways and leave behind our ways of making war and violence and sharpening our weapons of hatred and fear? This season, we prepare for Christ's return. We celebrate Christ coming into the world anew. I've always thought of Advent as a personal time for spiritual house cleaning. Make room for the baby Jesus. This year, with the state of the country and the state of the world, it struck me that it really is a communal time, a time to come together, to search out that light of God that can bring hope to even the most despairing among us. The light of God that reminds us that God's steadfast love has not ever gone away, and that it is not too late for us to learn the holy ways of peacemaking and justice seeking. The hope of the world is not in our leaders. The hope of the world is in God. And this season, we prepare once again for God's breaking into the world. We find that hope. And then we who are the body of Christ bring that hope out into the world so that others too may walk in the light of God. This is Advent. Advent waiting isn't just a passive waiting for God to change the world. It is waiting and actively preparing and doing our part so that God breaks into the world with the fullness of life. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.